Hey everyone, so I'm back. This time we're going to be making fresh pasta and or ravioli. So I plan to do meat ravioli and a few of cheese ravioli. So the meat ravioli I'll have more specific amounts on, and the cheese is just cheese, like mix some cheese together. Different varieties you like, the ricotta or something like that, but I'll explain further later. So, to start off, we're going to make our fresh pasta dough. That requires 2.5 cups of flour, which I've got here already, 1.5 tablespoons of salt, or less if you're like worried about your sodium. Also, 4 eggs, which I pre-cracked, and lastly, which I have yet to do, olive oil. And 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of that. Now, why I leave a range on that is because you might need a little bit more to bring your dough together. So for now, I'm just going to do 1.5, but it may require more later. So that you can all leave up to you. So now, what you're going to do is make a well, like a well with the flour, and I put that in quotes sort of terms because it's not really a well, but all you're doing is like pushing most of your flour towards the side of the bowl and then putting the eggs in the middle. And I'm going to show you real quickly just some of what you're going to do. So what you're going to do is just sort of push a little flour in to the side like that, and then mix in, and with whatever flour is on the bottom nearest that you're mixing in. You don't have to be all careful like, oh no, I'm going to get some flour from the wrong places. It doesn't matter at all. And once it starts coming together more, just bring some in from the sides, bring it in, and just mix it. And as it becomes less liquidy, then you can just do it by hand, and just bring that in. And make sure you put it together, mix it together well, and add the extra half tablespoon of olive oil if needed, or more, depending on your dough. Should be maybe slightly sticky, but it should not be super wet and not super dry. So just a pliable, slightly sticky consistency of dough. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to knead it so it becomes a little more malleable and pliable, so that when we're rolling it out, it doesn't just tear on us. So now what you're going to do is just knead it. So if you're having a hard time with kneading the dough, then you might want to add, and it's like too stiff like this, you see, mine's a little, like, you really have to pinch it together for it to like seal back up. Well, what you're going to want to do is add a little more water or oil to your dough to get it to be just right. So now to really knead it for this purposes, you don't need to do much. Just like smash it in like that, and then fold it over like this, smash it back in. Just kind of move the dough about and kind of smash it all together again. Now if you have your own way of kneading the dough, that's fine, but this is just for this purpose. This is how I do it. So, and this is definitely not the easiest thing for this dough. It's not easy. So if you need to add more water or oil, then do so. As you can see, it's like tearing. That's what we're going to try and get it to not do. So you just want to knead it until it becomes more pliable than before. So, and then after you have done that and kneaded it real good till it becomes way more pliable, as you can already see, it's loosening up a little bit because we're working the gluten, and it's making it be able to stretch. It's not quite there yet, but after you knead it, you're going to let it set aside for 30 minutes at least to an hour. And this is kind of nice because it gives you time to go do something else. If you're making ravioli, then cook your meat. If you're doing meat ravioli or prepare something else, then it sort of helps out. So that is what you're going to want to do. And as I mentioned before, if you're having trouble kneading it, add some more liquid agent like oil or water to the dough to make it easier. And as you can already see here, it's becoming a lot better. It's not breaking up as much, and that's exactly what we want. So just keep kneading it and make sure it's a nice dough and let it set. Hey everyone, so now I'm cooking the meat for the ravioli filling. You don't have to do meat filling, it's honestly your own preference. You don't even have to use the pasta dough for ravioli. I'm just doing this for anyone out there who would like to watch and who wants to make ravioli. So what I did is, since I'm not going to use all as this for ravioli, what I did is half a pound of meat. And I'm using turkey meat, ground turkey. Now what we're gonna do is put a little olive oil in the bottom of a pan, then start cooking your meat. So we're gonna season this basically however you want. So I'm gonna do a little oregano, some basil, some garlic powder, onion powder, and a little Italian seasoning. So this is just my own sort of concoction here. You can season yours however you'd like it. Doesn't matter, just as long as you season it to your liking, and since you're most likely going to be the one eating it. And then add whatever seasonings you like, and I will be adding sauce to half of this, about half of this, but again, your preference. You don't have to add sauce to your meat if you don't like sauce ravioli, meat sauce raviolis, or whatever you'd like to call it. Again, your preference. And now, once your this has stopped cooking and it's completely done, it's ready to be taken off and all that, let it cool for a little while, and then when it's still warm, however, put in 2 eggs, and just stir them in when it's still warm, not when it's fresh hot, because it'll cook the eggs, and we don't want that, because you don't want 2 whole eggs in there just cooking. So once it's cooled a little, but it's still warm, and no worries, it'll get cooked barely by the warmness, but it will be cooked eventually when you boil them. But I wouldn't test this with the raw egg in there. If you're gonna taste it before you add the raw egg. Let's turn this down. And so add the 2 eggs at the end once it's cooled down a little, and you will be good to go. So that's for this part. Okay, hey everyone. So now we're gonna roll out the dough. I've spared you the watching of it, but it's definitely easier if you have a pasta maker, which is really just something that helps you roll out the pasta. Now for the filling of the ravioli, getting sidetracked for a second here, just to mention something. For the filling of the ravioli, if you wish to have like a meat with sauce sort of ravioli, I would add 1/4 of a cup of tomato sauce to a fourth a pound, or half of what I told you to cook, which was half a pound, so a fourth pound, if you wish it that way, or add the sauce to your liking. Now, I suggest you just take a small bit of the pasta dough and roll it out, because if you try and roll it out at once, it is not going to work, especially using a rolling pin, which is what I'm doing, just because most of you probably don't have a pasta machine. I do, but it's tucked far away, and I didn't feel like pulling it out, so it's better to show you anyways. So roll it out like this. You want it very thin, of course, because it, as you know, pasta, when it boils, it gets bigger, so you want it as thin as possible. Or if you like really thick pasta, fine too, but me. So then, if you're going to make ravioli, get out a knife, which is what I'm going to show you now, and just cut it off so it makes a nice rectangle. Okay, or square, whatever works. So now, spoon your ravioli meat filling, whatever, on there. And I would do not too much, but just enough so you have a nice little taste of the meat when you bite into it. Now, for this, the size I rolled out, it's going to make 2 raviolis. Now, I mean, you can choose to do it all at once you wish, but it's just my suggestion. It's not going to be easy. So there we go. So now what you're going to do is just take this and fold it over. Now make sure you do it like halfway in there, not like, don't leave it all for the ravioli, like equate out. So now just press it down around the ravioli and merge it together with the other side of the pasta, like I'm doing now. If you want to use the edge of your knife just to push it down, that's fine too. Don't put too much filling, or it will be hard to merge together the pasta. And if you haven't kneaded it well either, then the pasta may split on you. It tries to do that, just trying to pinch up the holes of the pasta. So now just cut the 2 off, and if there's 2, now merge together the sides again. Do that, and make sure, if you don't want the excess pasta around it, then just cut off any excess you don't want. So here, and then again, if it's missing, merge together the sides. So these are the raviolis. So this is how I did it. If you have any suggestions, comments, concerns on these, questions, I'd be glad to answer. But just concerning the raviolis for now. So this is good. There you go. So now, let me get some pasta back over here. So now, for pasta, if you're making pasta and if you're doing this way, you obviously don't have a pasta maker, because if you have a pasta maker, don't do it with a rolling pin, because it's definitely way more difficult than it looks. So if you want to make pasta, just cut like thin strips in your Now, it's going to be more difficult to make spaghetti and these sort of things because you don't have a pasta maker. So you're probably going to end up making more like fettuccine and stuff like that if you do it this way. But I mean, you can try. If you get like very thin, you can do it. Hey, you guys can try whatever you want to do. And yeah, so I mean, it doesn't work the best this way. It works fine for ravioli, but it works for fettuccine. So that is pretty much it. So to cook these, what you're gonna want to do is take your raviolis or pasta and heat the water first to a roaring boil, so it's really boiling, and put them in it and stir and stir and stir, because you need to get them cooking first, because with fresh pasta, if you don't mix it good and stir it to keep them apart first, it's gonna stick in a big clumpy ball of mess, because I've done this before and that happened to me. So make sure you really make sure the water's boiling, make sure you're stirring it good, or it's all your hard work is going to go out the window. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to do like cheese raviolis, just put together some of your favorite shredded cheeses and some sort of goat cheese if you like, or the other cheese, ricotta. That's what I was trying to think of. Ricotta cheese, that and some oregano, that would make a great ravioli filling. So thank you guys for watching so much. Hopefully you'll try this. It's a lot to endure. Definitely don't start it late, or you will be like up late doing this. So I'd start it early. So thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.